Hi everybody, I am back after a very long time. Today I have a very special recipe for you all. I'm gonna make Mumbai Pav Bhaji. So you see, Pav Bhaji is basically a bread and vegetable dish, and so you eat the vegetable curry dish with your bread. So what I'm gonna show you is how to make the bhaji in the instant pot. I have here about 10 small to medium sized potatoes boiled. I also boiled these in the instant pot, so you can put them on manual pressure for 15 minutes. So put some water at the bottom, put it in another utensil if you want, and then add water here to submerge the potatoes. And then once they were boiled, I peeled them, and then I'm gonna mash them up roughly. Got my handy dandy spice mix box here. Some tomato paste. You can also use fresh tomatoes and chop them finely. Then I have over here some ginger garlic paste, chopped onions, peas, some bell pepper, as well as I'm just going to use some other kind of green veggies to mix. Like, you know, potatoes is very starchy and I like to put a lot of green vegetables in my bhaji. So I'm using just like a broccoli slaw, but you can use just carrots or cauliflower. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, you kind of want this quantity to be around this much. And then you also got your coriander. I also have a couple of different pav bhaji masalas. This one is from Jhatpat. You can also get an Everest pav bhaji masala. So it doesn't make much of a difference. I like these two, so that is why I use them. And that is all. You got your salt. And this recipe will make about for 8 people or so. So I'm cooking for a larger group here, which is why I have so many potatoes. So let's start. I have my instant pot on saute mode, and I'm gonna add some oil. So about a tablespoon of oil in there. So my instant pot also says hot now. So once it's on that, the oil is hot as well. I'm actually gonna dump in my capsicum as well as broccoli slaw mixture and just let it become soft. So you might think, why aren't the onions going in first? And that's the secret of this recipe, so hang in there with me. I'm gonna add some salt in here, just a little bit, very little, to get the water out from the vegetables and cook it at the same time. I'm in fact going to add a tad water as well, because I want the vegetables to become soft and cook. So let this cook for about 3 or so minutes. Okay, so now that is cooked well, I'm gonna add in, you can take about 2 to 3 tomatoes or about a cup of puree. These are just chopped tomatoes. The brand I use is Pomi, P-O-M-I, and it's an Italian tomato puree. So I really like it because it doesn't have a very sour taste. So especially if you don't like canned tomatoes, this one is really good. It works really well for pastas and pizzas as well. So again, let this cook and become tender. So I mashed up my potatoes. As you can see, I'm going to dump all of that in, as well as my green peas. So all of that went in. Add a little bit of water so things can cook. And mix it up and continue to mash your potatoes. Once it's a little bit mixed, I will add some of the masalas. So here, as you can see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about half of the ginger garlic paste I had. So about a tablespoon. This has both ginger and garlic in there. So once I add the ginger garlic paste, I'm going to add some red chili powder. So again, according to your taste, but this is really tastes best when it's spicy. So add about half a teaspoon of turmeric and about a teaspoon or so of red chili powder. I'm going to add a little bit Pav Bhaji masala as well. So I added a couple of tablespoons of Pav Bhaji masala in there. Adding some more water. Let this cook for about 5 minutes. And generally, if you have a masher, you would want to continue to mash it. So generally, this is what a masher is. You also get stainless steel ones and you continue to mash it. What I like to do is just put it in my Vitamix. That way, it becomes into a nice like pasty consistency. And the way to achieve that is also once you mash it, you cook it for a long time. But because we're going to just put it in the Instant Pot and let it slow cook after a while, this is kind of the shortcut I use. Don't forget to add some salt, about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, again according to taste. Generally, if you have potatoes, you need a lot of salt. So make sure you stir it because you do not want your, like, the mixture is going to start splattering. So you want to stir it. You can also cover it with a glass lid if you want. But the stirring also makes sure that it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. So as you can see, I've emptied out my bhaji into my Vitamix over here. Okay, so I'm gonna let that cool down a tad, and in the meantime I'm gonna start my onion sauteing over here. So here's where we come. Now this vegetable curry dish really tastes great with butter. So adding some olive oil, and then over here I'm gonna add about a teaspoon to a tablespoon of butter. You can eyeball it again if you want more butter. I use Amul butter. This is a butter from India and it tastes really yummy if you're a fan of butter. And this is also salted, so which is why it tastes better. So as the butter and the oil kind of heat up, you can just switch out your pot if you want, and if you have another pot you can do that. I also have one, but I don't mind using the same one over here. It doesn't really matter so much. You have enough oil at the bottom. To this, add about 1.5 medium onion chopped. So let this onion saute up nicely. Okay, so as you can see, the onions are all sauteed up. If you want, you can add a little bit of tomato at this point, just a little, not too much. You're gonna add the other half of the ginger garlic paste. A little bit more red chili powder and turmeric. I'm gonna add some kasuri methi. Kasuri methi is dried fenugreek leaves. You can also crush them and add if you want. Add some more Pav Bhaji masala, less than what you did previously, but a little bit more. It's about a teaspoon more. Again, every masala is different, so make sure you know what it tastes like and what your bhaji might be like. Green coriander or cilantro. So So now to this, I'm gonna add the bhaji that I just ground up in my Vitamix. Okay, so I have my bhaji over here, and I'm just gonna add it. And now start mixing it up. Okay, so here you go. Like, I mixed up everything. I added a little bit more salt and gave it a taste test. So you can also add some red color if you want your bhaji to look red. But I'm now going to let this cook for about a couple of hours on slow cook. So you can add more water at this point, depending on, like, you can make it a little bit more liquidy, because when it cooks for a couple of hours, the water is gonna evaporate. See, so what the slow cooking will do is, like, it will incorporate all the onion, butter, and the masala flavors with the vegetables that we cooked earlier, and so that's how this is gonna give a really nice smell and flavor to the bhaji. So I can show you what it looks like after. And the way to eat this curry or vegetable or bhaji is that you take pav, which is like a dinner roll, and you put some butter on your pan, and then put the pav on top and roast it a little bit, and then you can just like serve it, and then you serve the bhaji, top it with some chopped onions and a little bit of lemon juice, and that's it. You can also top it with some more butter if you like that. So let's see what happens after 2 hours.